The Arizona Wildcats win this game against the Utah Utes. The final score, Arizona Wildcats 65 to the Utah Utes 56. One of the things that most impressed me was, well, I just got to say this initially. There was a dribble drive by Gabe York, and he made that shot, and then he got fouled, so he had the opportunity for a three-point play. I don't think he capitalized on it. Yeah, he did actually. Sorry about that. He capitalized on it, so he knocked down. He got a three-point play from a dribble drive, and that was pretty awesome. It was nice to see dribble penetration from somebody other than the starting five, or Rondé Hollis-Jefferson is also very good at dribble driving, dribble penetration. Although Jordan Mays is also a very good dribble penetration player, but it's just nice to see somebody that's not a starter finish up and score on a dribble penetration, taking it to the hoop. But the thing that another thing that really stood out to me was, and I don't put a lot of praise on Aaron Gordon, but Aaron Gordon did really. He did really awesome tonight. He ended up with I think it was 12 rebounds. I'm using the ESPN stats here, so other stats might be different. But anyway, Aaron Gordon ended up with 12 rebounds, and seven of his rebounds were offensive rebounds. And I don't know if you saw some of his offensive rebounds, but one of them was, well, actually he didn't get the offensive rebound, but he got an assist, and he just the ball was bouncing around. I didn't know where it was. It was going all over the place, but it was underneath the key. He grabbed it, slammed it home with authority, and the University of Arizona fans went wild. It was a very impactful moment. Aaron Gordon had a lot of very important plays tonight that really got the crowd excited and brought about that other University of Arizona player that doesn't get on the court. He brought about the strength of the fan base, and the McHale Center just went crazy. Lots of times whenever he would, he blocked a shot, I think, from leverage from the Utah Utes. I think he stole the ball also, maybe once or twice. Let's see. Yeah. Well, he got one steal. So he just made some really nice contributions that were very helpful to the strength or the confidence of this University of Arizona Wildcats basketball team, and also the fans. It's nice. It's really nice to know that you got somebody that's gonna, support you in whatever you do, or someone that has your back if you start to fall down. Because the Utah Utes, they haven't uh, they've lost this season, but they've never lost to any team by more than 5 points. So the coach um, for the Utah Utes, I can't remember his name. It starts with a W. It's Warchak or something like that. Um, but he's a very good coach. And whenever the Utah Utes first came into the Pac-10, or now it's a Pac-12 conference, the Utah Utes, I didn't think that they were going to be a very strong team. I thought that that was a mistake by bringing in the Utah Utes, but it's not, because I'm, you can see that today, or you saw that today from the Utah Utes' performance pretty much the whole game. The last 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, is whenever the Utah Utes just kind of threw up their hands and they kind of gave up somewhat. They were exhausted. They couldn't do it anymore. They couldn't compete anymore, and that was whenever Nick Johnson for the University of Arizona Wildcats took over the rest of the game, and he scored some nice layups, and I think he made a couple free throws, and that was why that was one of the reasons why the University of Arizona Wildcats were able to end up winning this game by 9 points, and not 5, not 4, not 2, like many of the other Utah Utes basketball games have been decided by, or losses have been decided by, very small margins: 5 points, 4 points, 3 points, 2 points, something like that. So anyway, it was just the University of Arizona Wildcats were able to finish this game out, and that's essentially what they did, because the Utah Utes had this game the whole time within grasp, mostly, except for those last 3 minutes. That's kind of whenever the things fell apart. But whenever it was, the University of Arizona Wildcats could never really pull away, and it frustrated me. The University of Arizona Wildcats did out-rebound the Utah Utes 40-29, but it was a lot closer for most of the game. A lot of those rebounds, I think, there wasn't that much of a discrepancy on the amount of rebounds, but it was just the offensive rebounds that I really liked, that the University of Arizona Wildcats had. So much more offensive rebounds. They had 20 offensive. The University of Arizona Wildcats had 20 offensive rebounds compared to the Utah Utes, which only had 9 offensive rebounds. Another thing that knocked the Utah Utes down was that they got called for a lot of fouls. They ended up with 20 fouls, and some of this stuff is, it's kind of expected. Whenever you go on the opposing team's court, then you're going to get some fouls. You're going to get some calls that are not your way, So I think that whenever the University of Arizona Wildcats go away and play in Utah the next time, whenever they have to play the Utah Utes this season, later on this season, then I think the Arizona Wildcats are really going to have a battle on their hands again that time, because not only is the Utah Utes going to, not be so afraid, and maybe be able to finish out those last 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes of the game like they didn't this time. But they also have the fan base. So they have the support. They have the comfort of their own court, being able to play on their own court. So they should be able to do okay. And I think that's, going off on those lines a little bit, I think that's why UCLA was be able to beat Cal so bad tonight, was because it was on UCLA's home court, and that just, that kills you. That kills your team. If you don't have the fan base behind you, then then these guys, these college basketball players are impressionable, and whenever the fan base is not there, then there's not much of a support system, and they fall apart a little bit easier. And I think that's what happened to the Utah Utes tonight. They just fell apart within those last 3.5 minutes, and that was whenever the University of Arizona Wildcats were able to just take care of business and win this game. Like I said, Aaron Gordon, he didn't score a lot of points. He scored 10 points, which is, fantastic. And of course, more important than that is to me, the 12 rebounds, and the 7 offensive rebounds. I think that's awesome. But there was Rondé Hollis-Jefferson that scored, I think, 10 points also. And there was Brendan Ashley that scored 11 points, and of course Nick Johnson scored 20 points. So and Nick Johnson is somewhat money at the end of the game, but he was having a hard time with the free throws at the end, which is kind of peculiar. But and another thing was that you had 2 7-foot guys, so it was interesting to see how things were going to play out, because the Tarzewski from the University of Arizona Wildcats is 7 feet, and then you had Bukinski from the Utah Utes, which is also 7 feet, I think. So it was interesting to see how things were going to work out, and the thing that worked in the University of Arizona Wildcats' favor is Bukinski. He was in foul trouble. He had more fouls, so that's one of the reasons why the Utah Utes were able to fell apart so much as far as the rebounds. Were able to be out rebounded by 40-29 total. But we'll just see. We'll see how the University of Arizona Wildcats do away. I mean, they did fine against San Diego State, but it'll be interesting to see how they do away and whenever they play Stanford. The University of Arizona Wildcats final score. University of Arizona Wildcats 65 to the Utah Utes 56. The Arizona